I'm Ruth Shapira. Welcome to this podcast by Inner Judaism, a spiritual look at our lives. In this podcast, I'll be focusing on the idea of prayer as a dialogue between you and God. I'll use a story to illustrate, so before we begin, you might want to find a quiet place to sit where you won't be interrupted. And you might want to take a moment to get a cup of coffee or tea and put it on pause until then. You ready? Okay, let's relax into the moment first. So as you get into a comfortable position where your body is totally supported, feel your body just resting into itself. Either close your eyes or you can gaze downwards and draw yourself into the present moment, letting all thoughts slowly fade. Just notice your chest rising and falling. And inhale slowly, exhaling slowly, making your breaths even. As you release all thoughts from your mind, you can take in the following story that I'm going to share with you. A little while ago, before you moved away, you had a very close friend. You spoke almost every day, and sometimes you finished each other's thoughts and sentences. Often, there wasn't a need to say anything at all. You related to each other on a feeling level. You were both so closely connected, like you were two parts of the same melody. And if anything bothered you, you reached out and received attention and comfort. It was an easy relationship, and you shared so much with each other, the trivial and the greater challenges of life. But in the busyness of life, other things began to take priority. You haven't had time to speak. More time has passed, and your conversations are far fewer. And now you don't share as much, so the details of daily life don't really seem as relevant, even when you do speak to each other. The conversations are polite enough, and you talk about some milestones, but the intricate threads of the fabric of your life are missing. Now you even pause before calling. You second guess yourself. How did that happen? Well, since so much time has passed, wouldn't you think that you would have even more to talk about? But we know it doesn't work like that. The more distance there is between times of connection, times of contact, the more distant we feel. The same is true of our relationship with God. It's difficult to muster up the emotional content we need to develop a relationship when we connect only a few times a year. The one or two services that we might attend, perhaps Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, don't offer enough opportunities to have that relationship. Besides, the atmosphere might be so formal that we wouldn't be in the mindset of actually talking to God, and we'd be actually embarrassed if we did something different than everyone else. You might have been taught to just open the Siddur, the prayer book, say the words, and if you do it often enough, the feeling will come. You know, like when you work out. At first you may not like it, but in time, it could grow on you. But sometimes we need more time to prepare, more time to develop a relationship. This is about a relationship. But it's about a relationship that goes beyond praise and requests. Like, I tell you you're great, and then I could ask for something. It's a relationship that involves the inner you. One of the names we have for God is Re'enu, which shares a root with the word Re'eh, meaning friend. It has other meanings as well, but this is one of the meanings. That's what God wants, a relationship, to be your confidant, to be your go-to. And you have some time now, as we approach the month of Elul before the high holidays, to begin that process. So how do you start a relationship? Well, sorry, this is going to sound obvious. You begin a relationship by relating. You need to get rid of the transactional notion of prayer, where God gets you something, or gives you something, or you ask for something. So you can start by picking a private space, perhaps one you will return to often. It might be inspirational to you, or its best feature is that the space offers you absolute privacy. Think about what you'd like in your space and add things that might inspire you. You can dress up the space by adding candles or incense or drapery or anything else that might put you in a different frame of mind. But honestly, you can also have a conversation in your car. It's not necessary to have all those trappings, but you can if it puts you in a different mindset. So, how do we do this? Just start talking. Begin by saying what's on your mind. Introduce yourself, if even for a few minutes. Something like, God, I just want to tell you that I've just been having a lousy day. I don't know why, but I'm just feeling down. I'm just feeling like I'm not productive. And just keep talking like that. Just almost like you are not censoring yourself as you speak. What you're going for is developing a meaningful conversation and a relationship that is based on sharing and soul. So you may ask, well, doesn't a relationship involve two people? I'm just the one talking. What about God answering me? When you quiet yourself and you listen to your inner voice, that inner voice, the part that we call the soul, is part of God. That's the higher voice. That's the part of you that you are connecting to. Can you make this leap and think of God as your close friend, who I spoke about just a few minutes ago? Our souls yearn for a connection to our Creator. And when we make a pathway for that connection, we find meaning in our lives. It's what we are searching for. It's what makes our lives feel complete. It gives us a sense of wholeness. So as we slowly come back to the present moment, I hope you will continue to recognize yourself as a special and unique soul created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. Thank you for listening. Please visit innerjudaism.com and read some of my blogs and let me know how you're doing. If you want to receive Inner Focus, a spiritual newsletter that I write, you could subscribe at innerjudaism.com as well. Wishing you a glorious day and the ability to make this day better than yesterday.